This will be a Q&A at 2:60. Ready? Begin.
Or what are you going to do? How much more?
Just one more.
This will be a Q&A at 2:60. Ready? Begin. Would you please state your full name for the record?
My name is Mark Allen Jansen.
How are you employed, Mr. Jansen?
I am commissioned officer and I am assigned to Special Investigations Unit.
Does that have something to do with the military?
Yes, I am in the Air Force. My job is similar to that of a detective in a police department, except I work on the base.
Are you ever referred to as a special agent?
Yes, that is my official title, but sometimes people do call me Officer Jansen.
How many years have you been a special agent?
Approximately 4 years now.
Where are you currently stationed?
I am assigned to Williams Air Force Base.
How long have you been stationed there?
I think it will be 3 years in April.
What did you do prior to that?
I received my training at the Academy for the position of Special Agent. I was there almost 9 months.
Is that something in addition to the basic training you receive when you enlist?
Yes, I have received special training dealing with all aspects of law enforcement.
What did you do before you enlisted?
I was a student. This was my first assignment with the Air Force.
Where did you go to school?
I went to Kansas State University.
Did you graduate from that school?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
What degree did you receive?
I obtained a bachelor's degree in computer science.
Had you ever done any work in law enforcement prior to your position with the Air Force?
No, I had not.
Was this your decision to work in the Special Investigations Unit?
Yes, it was.
May I assume you had a prior interest in law enforcement?
Yes, ma'am, I did. I took several courses in criminal justice while attending Kansas State.
What is your current rank?
I'm a special agent. Although I am an officer, we don't use rank in our division.
It appears you don't need to wear a uniform either.
We normally wear regular clothing. The only time we are required to wear a uniform is during an inspection.
Are you familiar with the layout of the major buildings and the grounds at Williams Air Force Base?
Yes, part of my job is to know the entire base.
I want to direct your attention to the late evening hours of April 9 and the early morning hours of April 10, 2003. What was your job status that evening?
I was what is called the duty agent for our office.
What does the duty agent do?
That person is responsible for responding to all calls that occur after duty hours on weekends or holidays, and that was my status that night. You are basically on call 24 hours a day.
Did you receive any calls while you were working as a duty agent April 9th?
Yes, I received a telephone call from the desk sergeant at the base hospital. He explained to me they had detained a doctor at the hospital. He thought he had been using some type of illegal substance in the hospital parking lot.
Where were you when you received this telephone call from the sergeant?
I was asleep at home with my family.
After receiving that phone call, what did you do?
The first action I took was to call Special Agent Thompson and request that he respond to the hospital. He lives much closer than I do. It takes me approximately 20 or 30 minutes to travel to the base from my home. I thought it was important to have someone from our unit on the scene as quick as possible.
Did you eventually arrive at the hospital?
Yes, ma'am. I got there about 30 minutes after the phone call from the sergeant.
When you arrived at the hospital, what did you do?
I conferred with Special Agent Thompson. There were also several deputies there and some security police from the base.
How long were the county deputies there?
They were just leaving when I arrived, so I don't know how long they had been there previously.
Did you speak to anyone at the hospital about the facts that caused the phone call to be made to your residence?
Yes, I first spoke with the desk sergeant.
What did he tell you?
He repeated what he said to me on the phone.
Did you do anything based on that conversation?
Yes, I first contacted the Drug Enforcement Administration to see if they would be willing to come assist us because I did not have the authority to arrest the doctor.
Why weren't you able to arrest him?
Because he was a civilian, I just have the power to arrest Air Force personnel.
What action did you then take?
I contacted the DEA duty agent. I explained the situation to him and asked him if they would be willing to assist us in the case.
What was his answer?
I was basically told they would not be interested in pursuing the matter unless there was a large quantity of drugs found because they do not handle simple possession charges. They will only become involved in the case where there are large quantities for sale.
Did you know the quantity of drugs involved in this case at the time you called him?
Not at that time. We were simply suspicious of the doctor's activities.
Then how did you determine the quantity of drugs involved in this case?
After talking with DEA, we searched the doctor's car and found a pipe with what we thought was crack cocaine in it.
On what authority did you search the vehicle?
We obtained a search warrant from the base commander.
Have you received any specialized instruction on how to obtain a search warrant?
Yes, that was covered in our training in the Law Enforcement Academy.
What time was it that you first received the phone call from the desk sergeant at the hospital?
I believe it was somewhere around 3 in the morning.
Do you know what time they first noticed something peculiar about the doctor?
He came in on duty in the emergency room at 7 that evening.
Did he appear normal at the time?
His eyes were very bloodshot. He indicated to one of the nurses that he had not had much sleep and was also suffering from some sort of eye infection.